Okay, class, picking up where we left off at, I made a mistake when I typed in the Y1 and Y2. That's why you only got one line. I did not include the X here. So I had to press second, then delete so I could do an insert. Then we would press X. Now we can press graph. As you see here, we have our intersection point. So what we would do is we would press second, trace, number 5, and enter 3 times. And if you notice here, we have this long decimal, and we were not told what to round to. So let's just round to 2 decimal places. So we will have 113.44. That'll be our X. And then we will have for our Y, we will have 23.62. And that is our answer. It says solve the inequality WT is greater than M of T. But before we do that, with A here, it says use substitution or elimination to predict when the women and men's winning times will be equal. What will be that time? So if you look here, it tells us that this is the time here. Okay, now, the year, we will have to add 113 to 1970, which will give us 2083. So now, we will need to put down in 2083, the winning time for men and women would be 23.62, as I have stated here. Okay, so now we go here to B. Now, in B, they ask us, it says solve the inequality W of T is greater than M of T. What does your result mean in this situation? So basically, we'll take W of T, which is a negative 0.175 T, plus 43.47. And then we will have greater than M of T. Well, M of T, its equation is the negative 0.143 T plus 39.84. So now what we would do, we would solve for T. So we would add 0.143 T to both sides. We can put that in our calculator. We can have a negative 0.175 plus 0.143, and that would give us a negative 0.032. That would be T plus 43.47 is greater than 39.84. So now we will subtract 43.47 on both sides. We will have a negative 0.032 T is greater than, we will take 39.84 minus 43.47. And that will give us a negative 3.63. So we'll divide each side by a negative 0.032. And we will have T, we have to change the direction of the inequality. Actually did. It's supposed to go the opposite direction. So then T would be less than, so we will divide this by a negative 0.032. So T is less than 113.44. So T will have to be less than 113.44. Okay, so now we can predict that before 2083, women's times were greater than men's in 500-meter speed skating. Okay, so now scroll on to the next page, problem 22. It says the sales of large SUVs were 240,000 in 2002 and have since decreased by 7,000 cars per year. The sales of small SUVs were 146,000 in 2002 and have since increased by 38,000 cars per year. Let L of T be the sale of large SUVs and S of T be the sale of small SUVs, both at T years since 2002. Find equations for L and S. Then estimate when the sales of large SUVs were equal to the sale of small SUVs. So the large SUVs, we'll take L of T, and we will set it equal to. Now, it's decreasing by 7,000 cars per year, so that'll be a negative 7T. And then 2002 is our starting year, so it started out with 240, and that's 240,000. It's assumed to be in thousands. Okay, next, we would take the S of T. Now it tells us here that S of T, the sales have increased by 38,000. So it'd be 38 times T. And then we would have in 2002, it was 146,000. So it'd be plus 146. Now, since we have our equations here, we would just put it in the calculator. So now you would enter this in your calculator as I've shown, as it's shown here. Then we will press graph. Now it still might be affected because you still had the that zoom in, so, or that window. So we'll go down here to zoom fit. It will show it here. Then of course we would do our intersection, which would be second and trace, the number 5, and enter 3 times. So our final answer here, we would just round it to 2 decimal places. We have X at 2.09, and then we would have Y at 225.38. Now, they ask us, estimate when the sales of large SUVs were equal to the sale of small SUVs. So, what we would have here is, we would have T, so the sales were about the same in 2004. So we will put in 2004, they were the same. Now for 23. Caitlin went to bulk food store for candy. She bought some Tootsie Rolls, which cost 10 cents a piece, and some Jolly Ranchers, which cost 5 cents a piece. Altogether, she bought 21 pieces of candy and spent $1.35. How many of each kind of candy did she buy? Now remember, they said here that she bought 21 pieces of candy. So we can add the Tootsie Rolls plus the Jolly Ranchers is going to equal 21 pieces. Now we can look here at what she spent. She spent a dime for each piece of the Tootsie Rolls. And she spent a nickel for each piece of the Jolly Ranchers. And altogether she spent $1.35. Now what we have here, we have 2 system of equations here. So now what we could do is this here. We could use elimination or we could use substitution. Now what I would suggest we do is use substitution here. Hey class, I took the liberty of writing this out. We're going to use the substitution method. So I took the top equation and I wanted to get J by itself. So I subtracted T on both sides and I got J equals 21 minus T. So I came back over here to the second equation and put in 21 minus T for J. And then I did the distributive property. I brought down the first value, did the distributive property here. That gave me 1.05 minus 0.05 T. That equals to 1.35. Now I combine like terms with the t's, and that gave me 0.05t plus 1.05 equals 1.35. Now I subtract 1.05 on both sides, and that will leave me 0.05t equals 0.30. We'll divide each side by 0.05, and t is equal to 6. Now this is 6 Tootsie Rolls. Now remember, it was a total of 21 pieces of candy, so that means that J must equal 15, so it's 15 Jolly Ranchers. And this is your final answer. Okay, now we go on to the next problem, number 24. It says Mara Kayla invested a total of $16,000. Part of the money was placed in the savings account paying 4% simple interest. The rest was placed in the savings account paying 6% simple interest. If the total interest received for the year was $760, how much had she invested in each account? So first of all, we know she invested $16,000. So we can have x plus y equals $16,000. Now we know we have one account that pays 4%, which is 0.04x, and then the other account is 6%, which is 0.06y. And the total interest for the year was $760. Now, we want to know how much she had invested in each account. We would do the substitution method here. So in using the elimination method, we took x plus y equals 16,000, and we got y by itself. So we took this value for y and put it into the second equation, which we did down here. Now we would have to do the distributive property. This would give us a 0.04x minus 0.06x plus 960 equals 760. Now we combine the like terms, and that gives us negative 0.02x plus 960 equals 760. We will subtract 960 on both sides, and we will have a negative 0.02x is equal to negative 200. We divide each side by a negative 0.02, and that will give us x is 10,000 at 4%, and then y would be 6,000 at 6%. And this is our final answer. Now, we come down here to problem 25. It said Aiden received $1,320 in cash from his graduation party, and he plans to save the money to buy a car. CP Federal Credit Union has an auto purchase account that pays 1.24% interest, and their savings accounts earn 0.25% interest. Aiden decides to open an auto purchase account with some of the money and to open a savings account with the rest. At the end of the first year, he has $1,333.20. Assuming that Aiden made no deposit or withdrawals from either account, how much money did he decide to invest in each account? So first of all, we have x plus y is equal to how much Aiden actually had initially, which was $1,320. Now we go to the interest rates. We know that one account pays the 1.24% interest, so that's 0.0124x plus 0.25% is 0.0025y, and that equals 2. Now the interest, we would have to take this 1320 and subtract it from this 1333.20. That would give us interest of what, $13.20. Now we will again do the substitution method.